In this tutorial, we will be discussing how to define life. Biology is a scientific study of life. There is great diversity among living things. They are composed of the same chemical elements as non-living things and obey the same physical and chemical laws that govern everything else in the universe. Despite diversity, all living things share the same basic characteristics. The levels of biological organization range from the atoms up to the biosphere. The cell is the basic unit of structure and function of all living things, and organisms can be unicellular or multicellular, meaning one cell or many cells. Each level of organization is more complex than the level preceding it. As biological complexity increases, each level acquires new emergent properties. The most basic one is the atom. This is the smallest unit of an element composed of electrons, protons, and neutrons. The molecule is a union of two or more atoms of the same or different elements. The cell is the structural and functional unit of all living things. Tissues are groups of cells with a common structure and function. And an organ is composed of tissues functioning together for a specific task. Organ systems are composed of several organs working together. An organism is an individual. A complex individuals contain organ systems. A population are organisms of the same species in a particular area. And a community, interacting populations in a particular area. An ecosystem is a community plus the physical environment. And finally, you have the biosphere, the regions of the Earth's crust, water, and atmosphere inhabited by living things. There are several characteristics that make up life. One is that they acquire materials and energy. Another is to maintain homeostasis. Another is to respond to stimuli, to reproduce and develop, and to adapt and evolve. Let's talk about energy. All substances, all organisms need to obtain nutrients and energy. Energy is the ability to do work. It is required to maintain organization and conduct life-sustaining processes such as chemical reactions. All the chemical reactions that occur in the cell is called metabolism. The sun is the ultimate source of energy for nearly all life on Earth. Plants, algae, and some other organisms capture solar energy to perform photosynthesis, which is the process that converts solar energy into chemical energy of carbohydrates. So here we have some substances that absorb the solar energy directly. But if you cannot do that, if an organism cannot do that, we have other ways of maintaining it, such as eating the food, eating the plants that absorb the energy, or eating the animals that ate the plants. Homeostasis is the maintenance of internal conditions within certain boundaries, and all organisms need to maintain some kind of biological balance, and homeostasis allows this to happen. There's a feedback system that monitors internal conditions and make adjustments. Living things interact with the environment to respond to changes in the environment. The ability to respond often produces movement. Here we see penguins sliding across the ice. They have done this to conserve as much energy as they can. All living organisms must reproduce to maintain population. The manner of reproduction varies among different organisms. When organisms reproduce, they pass on copies of genetic information called genes for the next generation. Genes determine the characteristics of an organism, and they are composed of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. Finally, organisms must adapt and evolve. An adaptation is any modification that makes an organism better able to function in a particular environment. The diversity of life exists because of the long periods of time organisms respond to changing environments by developing new adaptations. Evolution is the change in a population of organisms over time to become more suited for the environment.